best players in the world. I think he's proven that time and time again once he gets to the playoffs. But that's an extremely well-coached team over there. I think Spo is one of the best in the league at getting his guys prepared, detail-oriented, a team that tries to out-tough you. And I think that's where the game lies for us and for them, is who's going to out-tough, who's going to play harder than the other team. It's going to come down to rebounding. It's going to come down to getting stops on the defensive end. I think it's two defensive-minded teams. And it's going to be a battle. We're expecting a battle.
What do the next few days look like for you guys?
It's of course, taking care of your body. You want to come in full speed, but at the same time, you want to come in sharp mentally more than anything. So I think tomorrow is film to start our real, detailed preparation on Miami. And then, the next day will be a full practice, getting after it, putting that film to work, working on, our preparation.
So those are the words from Malcolm Brogdon. And when you look ahead to this series for the Eastern Conference Finals, they split the season series 2-2 during the regular season. Again, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, both averaging 30 points per game. So they are going to be a load for the Miami Heat, who've been playing some fantastic basketball. Jimmy Butler, arguably the best player in these playoffs. But just for a second here, let's go back and just put in perspective, GA, what we saw from Jason Tatum in this game, the greatness of that.
It was an otherworldly performance by him. Again, you can't talk about Game 7 without talking about what happened in Game 6. The fact that he was 1 of 14 to start, and it looked like their season was on the brink, and he found something in that fourth quarter. And you could just tell he came out with a sense of urgency. And anytime your best player sets the tone from the get-go, not just with his offense, but with his defense, it gives everybody else confidence. And he was in what they call that proverbial zone. He just would not be denied, played with tremendous passion, set the tone, and you saw that Celtics fan base was very appreciative because that was a big-time performance on the biggest stage.
So we got a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final. Coach, what are you looking for going forward here?
Man, did you see those stats? Jimmy Butler, Tatum and Brown averaged 30 apiece. Look, man, Eric Spoelstra's sitting there saying, wow, how are we going to slow these guys down? And you forget, they don't have Tyler Hero, another guy get you 20. Look, man, it's hard to say that Miami can beat Boston, but, man, it's hard to bet against Miami because they find a way to get it done on some level. So I'm going to say, if I was a betting man, I would take Boston. Look at the Boston Celtics team compared to an undermanned Miami team. But when you factor in that Miami Heat culture and Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, I'm still going to go with Boston to win the series. But I tell you what, it would not shock me, and I will not bet against the Miami Heat.
Yeah. And the one thing about it from Miami's perspective, like Eric Spoelstra, he will be able to take something away, in part because Miami won't beat themselves.
No.
Like, they won't take the bad shots. They won't have the turnovers. They're not going to have the breakdowns defensively. You're going to have to play well to beat them. And as good as the Celtics are, they've shown an inability at times to be consistent. And so sometimes you lose a game here or there that you're not supposed to. You find yourself in a scenario that Boston found themselves in against Philadelphia down 3-2. Going back to Miami, you might not survive that. So if you're Boston, you're going to have to play a little more consistent basketball for 48 minutes because this Heat team won't beat themselves.
Yeah, and speaking of the Sixers, they had championship aspirations. Here is Doc Rivers on the direction of the team moving forward.
I think this team is headed right. I thought we took another mental step to this season.